Welcome back to Splendid Tales, where reality meets karma in high definition. If you're new here, grab your popcorn, because this one burns slow before it explodes. The morning began quietly inside the marble lobby of Ashwood Enterprises, all glass, shine, and self-importance. Behind the front desk sat Kelly, a blonde receptionist with a smile sharp enough to slice through sincerity. She looked up as the elevator doors opened and froze. A tall black man stepped out, wearing a plain gray hoodie and jeans. No briefcase, no tie, just quiet confidence and tired eyes. Kelly's gaze flickered over him, judgment already written across her smirk. Deliveries go to the back, she said, waving him off with a manicured hand like she was swatting a fly. He blinked, confused but calm. I'm here for an appointment, he replied evenly. With who? She shot back, chewing her gum with an arrogance only insecurity could buy. Mr. Reynolds. Kelly laughed, loudly. Sweetheart, Mr. Reynolds doesn't meet random walk-ins. Especially not. She paused, letting her eyes travel down his hoodie like it offended the carpet. Phones rang. People glanced. The man said nothing. He just stood there, watching her, his silence heavier than her laughter. Security was already walking over. She had made sure of that. If you're still watching this, hit that like button, because trust me, what happens next will flip every assumption upside down. The two security guards arrived like backup dancers to Kelly's ego. Puffed chests, swinging keys, and that look that said we've done this before. One of them, a tall man with a mustache so sharp it could cut wire, crossed his arms. Sir, we're going to have to ask you to leave. This lobby's for staff and approved guests only. Kelly folded her arms, grinning like she'd just won Employee of the Month. Told you, sweetheart, the back door's that way. But the man didn't move. He calmly reached into his pocket. The guard's hands twitched toward their belts and pulled out a slim leather badge holder. He flipped it open. The golden letters gleamed under the lobby lights. Jonathan Reynolds, Chief Executive Officer. Silence detonated like a grenade. Kelly's smile died instantly, her gum freezing mid-chew. The guards looked like someone had unplugged their confidence. Jonathan's gaze didn't waver. You said Mr. Reynolds doesn't meet random walk-ins, he said softly. So tell me, Kelly, what does he do with employees who humiliate guests at first glance? Kelly's mouth opened, but nothing came out except a nervous squeak that could have been mistaken for a dying mouse. Jonathan turned toward the guards. You can stand down, he said. You're about to witness a lesson in professionalism. If you're still watching Splendid Tales, hit like and subscribe because the storm that's about to hit this lobby, it's just warming up. The silence in that marble lobby could have been sliced with a butter knife. Kelly's fake confidence evaporated faster than cheap perfume in the sun. Her voice cracked like old glass. Mr. Reynolds, I didn't know. Jonathan lifted a hand, calm but commanding. That's the point, isn't it? He said, stepping closer. You didn't care to know. His tone wasn't loud, but it carried the weight of a courtroom verdict. Every whisper in the lobby vanished. Even the elevator seemed to stop breathing. He glanced around at the onlookers. This company was built on respect, he said. But what's the use of glass walls and company slogans if prejudice still sits at the front desk? Kelly's face turned pale as she stammered. Please, sir, I didn't mean... Oh, you meant exactly what you said, he replied, his words slicing through her excuses. That laugh, that tone, that's the kind of poison that ruins companies from the inside. Then, in the calmest voice imaginable, Jonathan said, Pack your things. HR will escort you out. Kelly froze, eyes glassy with disbelief. You can't fire me like this. Jonathan smiled, faint but final. No, you fired yourself the moment you decided who mattered by how they looked. The guards looked at each other, unsure whether to help her or salute him. If you're still watching Splendid Tales, hit like and subscribe because this story just hit maximum karma speed. Kelly stood frozen, mascara streaking down her cheeks, the lobby swallowing her silence whole. HR appeared within minutes, two women with calm, practiced faces, and led her away as whispers trailed behind like funeral bells. Each click of her heels sounded like a countdown to humility. Jonathan watched quietly, no anger, just a steady calm that felt like justice finally breathing. He turned to the remaining staff, every one of them pretending to type, to look busy, to avoid the truth staring them in the face. Let this morning remind us, he said, his voice even and low, that respect isn't a decoration you put on when the boss walks in. It's supposed to live here, he tapped his chest, even when no one's watching. Kelly passed through the glass doors one last time, head down, tears smudging her foundation. Outside, the same delivery driver she'd mocked earlier held the door open for her, without a word, without a smirk, just quiet dignity. The irony was brutal and perfect. Jonathan's assistant stepped forward, whispering, "Should we make a public statement?" He smiled faintly. "No need. Lessons like this travel faster than press releases." And they did. By lunch, every department was whispering, and by evening, half the city knew. The CEO, who came in dressed like nobody, had revealed everything about who everybody really was. This has been Splendid Tales. If that hit your soul, like, comment, and subscribe. More truths are coming.